Hey guys, I know it's been a little while since I made a video, and now that I'm able to do it again, I was going to wait till tomorrow to do the video, but I'm not a very patient person, and I still need to feed the birds, so I decided to come on out here and give you all an update. I realize it's been a few weeks since, yeah, it might have even been as much as 2 weeks since I showed y'all lost last time, but it's February 14th now, so Valentine's Day, and I was going to show y'all what's going on. So I know I had been showing y'all this hen right here had been sitting on her nest and looked like she was going to lay. Well, she did, and of course she laid her egg on the floor under the nest boxes, which is the reason that this is now covered up, so they can't do that. I should have covered it in the first place, but I didn't. What I actually wound up doing, though, because they had been in here and she had been sitting on that nest since she laid it down there on the floor, and I of course don't want them raising babies on the floor, I put the egg in here, but I was going to have to lock her and her mate in here for them to start sitting on the egg, because all she wanted to do was come out. And I didn't want her or her mate trampling the egg, so I actually replaced it with a fake nest egg, which you can buy those. I actually made my own. I made them out of wood, and my girlfriend painted them white for me. But that's what I used. And once they accepted that wooden egg, I replaced it with, which only took, I mean, it was the next day. I saw that she was incubating it, or lightly, because she hadn't laid the second. Once she had done that, I put the real egg back in. She never did lay a second egg, but I won't disturb her too much, but I actually did get a couple of eggs from a friend to put under her as well, so she's got 3, and ordinarily I wouldn't disturb her, but there is something in particular about one that I want to show you guys. If I can find it. Here it is. This one, which was given to me by a friend, look at that. That's not really good, but there's a membrane underneath the eggshell, which is why if an egg is ever, they ever lay an egg without a shell, you'll see it's got a membrane on it, kind of like a skin to it, and that's not broken. So it's entirely possible, and it's probable that the egg will be just fine and the baby will hatch. So you don't necessarily have to throw out an egg if that happens. I've also got this pair. This is Coco, one of my more of a pet racing homer, and his mate, who's a grizzle hen. They've got eggs now, and she's gonna bite me, but you can see there's eggs in there. And yeah, go ahead. Does it make you feel better? You just gotta take all your wrath and anger out on me. This is really a nice bird. She just doesn't want me messing with her eggs. It's understandable. This pair in here, I'm expecting an egg from any day. This is hen. This is the hen. That's the cock. The hen is the daughter from last year of this pair here, that grizzle hen, and this Ash Red T-check cock. So she is their daughter from last year. So these will be full. Those eggs will be full siblings to her. And I have already handled all of the eggs in the loft that are in the loft at the moment. They are all fertile and growing, except for those new 2 eggs I got from a friend. They're old enough it's hard to see much about them by sticking an egg in, a light up there. Unless they actually have been dead for a while and start to decompose, you won't see much of a difference once they get to a certain point. But hopefully they'll both make it. My roller pair in here has laid. Again, it's dark in this nest box, so you're not really going to see much, but it's a blue T-check hen mated to that brown and white cock right there. And I did a video on my Birmingham rollers, specifically probably a couple months ago, and I've gotten a lot. I want to say I've gotten over 6,000 views on it. I know for a fact it took more than 5,000. I want to say it's more than 6,000. It's my most viewed video. But I did make a couple of mistakes, which I had no idea. about, and that's why one of the things I love about my YouTube channel is the responses I've gotten from everyone. I've believed that this cock right here, and it's that's a child from it, were done, which would be a term for being a diluted, being a black, which is a blue spread, would make them black, and then having the gene dilute on it, which would make them lighter. But what's wrong with you? But let me show you here. So this is the bird. This is the child. Which, by the way, this is the bird that was really thin, and it's just about back up to a normal weight now. She's still a little bit thin, but not too much. But I thought this was a dun, which would be a diluted blue spread or black. But it turns out that it's actually not. It is blue. It does have that base color, blue, but it's actually an indigo, which is another color altogether. And it does have spread. I was right on the spread and the blue, but it's not diluted. It's got a gene called indigo, which on a blue bar or blue check would actually make the the pattern really close to the color of an ash red. And let me show you the cock. This is the cock, and I don't know why he's running away from me so much, because he usually won't do that. But spread is not always, it doesn't always cover up everything. Sometimes it can be faulty. And if you see here, he's got these ash red colored bars. It's not ash red, but it's that color, that rusty red color. That's actually, he's a blue indigo bar, and his bars were turned that rusty red color by indigo, and the spread is somewhat faulty, and it's allowing that rusty red color to show through. It's obviously not as much as a true bar would be, but you can see it showing through. And I always knew he had that. I just never understood why. Now I do. So I'm actually pretty excited about it, because that gives me a lot more, I don't know, it's just kind of a neater gene. Neater, I don't think that's a word. It's a neat gene, but whereas dilute would just make them lighter, I can actually make them kind of a, if I breed it back to the other, it'll, if I breed two together, it'll make it really light colored, like a slate gray color, which I think looks kind of cool. This is actually the preferred color. If I say it right, I think it was called Andalusian, which is taken from the color of a type of chicken. But so that's neat. But it's a dominant gene, not a recessive, which means that by breeding him to a black hen that did not have that gene, it was not a sex-linked mating. The dilute is recessive and is sex-linked, I think so, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It's too late. I'm going to get myself mixed up. But it turned out to not be a sex-linked mating, which means that wherever that little roller went is not necessarily a hen, and it's always acted like a cock. So now I guess I know why. I don't know where in the world it... Oh, there it is. I don't think y'all seen these either. I put these boxes up here. Mostly just in preparation for hopefully getting some young white ringneck doves. But pigeons like it too, of course. There's not a lot of... Oh, I've got this pair, that my blue bar from a friend and black hen pinned up, because they had kind of split and were painting each other in each... Sorry guys, I'm getting over a cold. But they kind of split, and you can see her holding up that leg. She's still favoring that leg. I'm not really sure why. After being advised to do so by a friend who runs a parrot rescue and rehabilitates wild birds, I was giving her this steroid, which is called, and I always forget it, prednisolone. I always just remember it sounds like pregnant. I'll be talking to my friend. Well, guys, you want me to camera cut out on me again, just as it always does. Of course, right in the middle of my joke, I was going to say I always think of it as the pregnant medicine. That's all I remember. It sounds like the word pregnant. So I'll be talking to my friend. You want me to use the pregnant medicine? Yeah, go ahead, use the pregnant medicine. So that's what I do. I don't like to use medicine really. I don't even take ibuprofen or Benadryl much for a headache or anything. I'm not against it. I just, if I don't feel like it's necessary, I don't really want to use it. But I was using it for this, and the reason I had it, if y'all remember, the little roller there, the little indigo red, she, I think it's a he now, rolled and broke, well not broke, messed up his legs. He went unconscious, and after he came to, couldn't use his legs, and I took him to the vet, and they prescribed me that the pregnant medicine, and I used the steroids along with physical therapy to get her back to normal. As you can see, her legs work just fine now, nothing wrong anymore. It seemed to be nerve damage, but I was using that, and it seemed to be giving her a little relief while I was giving it to her, but now I'm done giving it to her. I didn't give it to her very long, and seems to be just as bad as before now, which isn't terrible, but of course I don't want her to be having to limp around all the time. So I don't know what she did to it. There's always something going on. But I also have this pair here, yeah, sorry, and my friend, good friend of mine, who's actually the president of our Pigeon Club now. He was voted in as president at our last meeting. Who gave me that blue bar and that blue check. He also gave me these, but these aren't actually his. They belong to a man named Bill Sonder, who I know he raced in California, and he was evidently a pretty good pigeon racer. I have not gotten the opportunity to meet him yet, though I believe I will be able to. I believe he's going to be at the next club meeting. But the name sounded familiar to me, so maybe one or two of y'all know who he is. But these are Bill Sonder birds. It's supposed to be a pretty good bloodline, so I'm going to try and breed them. So far I've had them for, I want to say, I don't know, it's been a few days. It might be going on a week now, but they haven't been showing much signs of breeding. The cock's been sitting in the nest cooing some, but that's about it. Personally, I don't like the birds all that much, just because they hate me. Yeah. They do not like me. Usually they'll flip out if I stick my hand in here. I'm surprised I'm touching them right now without them flipping out. It's not like with my tame birds. Come here, Coco. I can reach over here and grab Coco and sit him on my shoulder. He's pretty nice. You're a nice bird, aren't you, Coco? He's nice until I stick my hand in his nest box. Then he's not so nice. But I don't know. That's just because I've got those birds so tame. For me, having your birds tame enough to really play with them some, that really that just makes it makes it a lot more fun to me. Either of those two hens sitting over there, I can feed them on the nest. Not that they're all that hungry. I've given them plenty of food. You can see all this food spilled out in her nest box, but here you go. You want it? Yeah, she's not biting me. She's taking the food. She's fine with that. She will bite me. She'll definitely bite me, but that's just because she's on her nest. If she wasn't on her nest, she wouldn't bite me. But I just like pigeons like that. I don't particularly care for these either. These don't like me at all. Whereas this guy, he's not going to like me sticking my hand in his nest box, but he's fairly tame. Not to the degree of some of mine, but he's pretty tame. See, he's not running away from me. Doesn't look like he's particularly enjoying being petted, but he's not going to run away or anything. If a bird can move away from you and it doesn't, that's a pretty good sign it's pretty tame. So, just reach over, pick up one. I'm not feeling like putting in the effort tonight. I don't know. But they're supposed to be a good bloodline, so looking forward to that. I should also be getting I say pair, they're young, so they could both be the same gender. but a pair of young white homers from the ex-president of my club. He's the secretary now. He and the current president kind of swap places, but I'm going to be getting a pair of young white homers from him. Hopefully be opposite genders, even if they're not. I know I'll be able to get mates for them once they mature. But I haven't had white birds in a while, and I would like to do white dove release eventually, so I'm looking forward to that. Aside from what's in here, I also have a brown Birmingham roller, which, by the way, I thought these were ash red spreads. Let me pull them out in the light so you can see them. Alright. These, I thought they were ash red spreads. They're actually not, evidently. I was told that on well, let me put it easier like this. With spread, I always pictured this pattern right here, which this is a check, but I always pictured this pattern right here being what gets spread out. But it's really not this pattern at all, it's this tail bar, which in him is black. They're not a very good color, so it would make him black. Looks like my camera's going to die on me. But with ash reds, like him right here, you can see he doesn't really have a tail bar. It's the same color as his ashy gray feathers, so on an ash red spread it would actually make him that light gray color. So I was told that he wasn't even spread at all, but that he had some kind of bronzing. Obviously he's a bald-headed roller. He's got the piebald genes that make his tail white, his head white, and half his wings white. That's pretty well set in there. I know what that is. But I was told it was some kind of a bronzing. I don't know. It's the exact... If I hold him up to my T-check, ash red over there, or my ash red bar, I mean, the red color is pretty much exactly the same. I can't tell the difference, so I don't know. If anyone wants to tell me what y'all think that is, you're welcome to. I'm always keen to learn new stuff, especially about my own birds. But I've got his son actually paired up to a satinette oriental frill. Most of y'all will probably know what that is. If not, I don't have my headlamp with me, so I'm not gonna show you right now, but I'll show you on a later update. But you can Google that, oriental frill satinette. But I'm gonna attempt to breed out some frill stencil rollers. They probably won't be performing, just for looking at, which I don't want to mislead you. I'm not expecting to put the roller and the satinette together and the babies pop out be still stencil rollers. I'll have to do some inbreeding and choose who mates with who, mate their offspring, maybe mate offspring back, mate offspring to offspring. It's going to take some work, but eventually my hope is to produce those. A man who I don't know real well, but have been able to talk to, his name's Danny Joe Humphrey. He has a YouTube channel called Color Pigeons and More, and y'all, if you haven't seen his channel, you need to check it out. He's got a lot of amazing colored birds, and he sells them, and at pretty good prices too. I'll tell you, he's got some really nice rollers, and he only sells them $25 a piece, $50 a pair, and that's pretty good. And he ships, so especially if you're looking at wanting to get some kind of colored breed, definitely check out his channel. But he's got a video of some frill stencil rollers, and I'm not sure if he created them or if his friend, oh, what's his name? I can't remember his friend's name, who has a lot of rollers, but I can't remember which one of them created them. But he's got the video. I'll try and put a link to it on there, but I actually didn't see that video until a couple of nights ago. But I did know that he was working on that project, and that kind of inspired me to work on some myself. Really wanted to do that. But I'll try and put a link in the description for y'all to that video specifically. But I'd also encourage you to check out his channel. Real nice man too. He'll work with you on whatever you need. So real great guy. Check out his channel. But my camera battery's dying, and I need to go in. So I suppose I'll call it a night. But be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. As I've said, I'm doing a series. So Thanks for watching. Alright guys, so real quick before my camera actually does die, I just went in, I was looking over the video, putting everything together for my YouTube video, and I realized I kept saying I had candled eggs, and I recalled that while I've been doing an okay job of updating y'all on what I'm doing in the loft, I've not been doing as good a job of explaining what I'm doing and teaching for those who don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what candling is. You don't actually use a candle normally, but it's just where you shine a light through an egg to be able to see inside it to see if it's fertile. And I'm going to show you how that is, or what that looks like. I don't have an infertile egg to show you what that looks like, but I do have a fertile egg. Hopefully you can see there that little red dot right there, that's the embryo, and you can see the veins, the blood vessels going out along the egg. So that egg is fertile. Obviously you can see the embryo growing. So this is all that candling is, and that's how you see if it's fertile or not. That actually kind of hurt, taking that egg from the pigeon. She keeps getting a hold of a little bit of my skin and pinching it. Just showing you her egg right there, one and her too. But that's what it is. Now you know. So after you get eggs, they won't look like that immediately. They have to be incubated a few days. Those are probably going on 3, maybe 4 days. 3, I think. So I think 3. So immediately, all you're going to see is the yellow egg yolk. And after a few days, if they are infertile, all you'll see is that yellow egg yolk. You won't see the embryo growing or the veins. But that's what it is. Again, thank you for watching. Be sure to like my videos and subscribe for more updates. And hopefully I'll be doing a better job of showing you all what I'm doing, explaining everything.